U.P.K. Oh, and West. Babylon is falling to rise no more again. Babylon is falling. Freedom is here, my friend, not just part of the nation. Yeah, our shine never come bring peace, him start of the vision. Now put your trust in the riches and wealth, guns are ammunition. But just the last statutes and commandments, we make the decision to keep them with precision. I just part of the nation. Daniel get a vision, him see the black Christ, it wasn't a white depiction. No allegiance to Rome nor its regions, come out them religion if you want be a free man. Cause the deacons them full of demons, same situation with Rasta with Islam. Only beacon of hope for your lean and I.S.U.P.K and the General YAHANNA. Every fowl of the ear, every beast of the field, every creeping thing we creep on land, every mouth of the clear, loud and clear. Yahawashi Mashiach is a black man who have ear, let him hear. Time to prepare, spiritually separate from Babylon. We no weak, we no fear, wheat we no tear. Bun Saddam, my bun Batman are just part of the nation. Yahawashi never come bring peace, him start of the vision. No put your trust in the riches and wealth, guns are ammunition. I just the last statutes and commandments, we make the decision to keep them with precision. Just part of the nation, send evils and curses on the whore sitting and the beast and all churches. America fall, them deserve it. Rome get defeat, history repeat, I know the first thing. Hey, 400 years them work with, then desert with, then turn round and call we worthless. But now the COVID lurking, them hurting, and then the doctors and nurses. Hey, one day the building have to turn after the long journey. No care much money you a earn if you still want Babylon burn. One day the building have to turn after the long journey. No care much money you a earn. Hey, I just part of the mission. Yahawashi never come bring peace, him start of the vision. No put your trust in the riches and wealth, guns are ammunition. I just the last statutes and commandments, we make the decision to keep them with precision. I just part of the mission.
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, thumb to all the brothers, Yahweh Shem Allah, thumb Bashem Yahshai to all the sisters. This is the I.S.U.P.K Canada Sabbath service. We're going to start right now. Appreciate for tuning in. As you come in, like, subscribe, and share this video. If you got any questions on the subject, you can type them in on the chat. Officer Shariwan, state your register and salute.
Officer Shariwan, Ban Ban Yamyan, Ban Yasharala.
Officer Shariwan, Ban Ban Yamyan, Ban Yasharala.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Approach the podium.
Okay.
Give that chair back. And then you have to keep your hand over up. La Yasharala.
La Yasharala to Israel.
All right. Men of Israel, Akwathian, we're going to open up our Sabbath service with the prayers, right? Imajim, which means to stand. Sarapanya, Hakudam, which means turn and face the east. East is this way. We're going to open up the Sabbath service with the Lord's Prayer. Right? And as tradition, right, in the I.S.U.P.K, 1 West, under Commanding General YAHANNA, which is the home of the truth, right? And if you have to ask yourself if you're in the truth, you're not in the truth. Right? We're going to read the Lord's Prayer, which is Matthew 6, verse 8 to 13, in the Hebrew, and then we're going to break it down in the English. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Sabbath, Ratazaka, Hayah, I.S.U.P.K, Varataza, Kawa, Hayah, Vashemayim, Lathalanaw, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalaknaw, Kabwathnaw, Kasalaknaw, Kabwathnaw, Wala'ah, Sabayanaw, Bonasayawan, Abal, Hawashaynaw, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wahala, Wahasapara, La'ai Walamya, Aman.
In English, our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed
be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done in
Thy
earth.
will be done in earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our
As
debts.
we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not into
And
temptation.
lead us not into temptation.
Deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the
And
kingdom.
the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to read Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. What? Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahahaya, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ai, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Anah, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashan, Shalmar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wairak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makarai, Yashamash, Asnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazahaka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'aifa, Wa'ai Walam.
In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I'll lift up my eyes unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my
My
help?
help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from
Which
Yahweh,
made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
Will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
Will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all
He shall
evil.
preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming
from
in
this time forth,
from this time forth
even forevermore.
and even forevermore. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashan,
Hashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Barak Lanawa,
Barak Lanawa,
Wa'yasha'ala,
YAHWH,
Wahabaya,
Wahabayah,
Sapaya,
Sapar,
Ba'ashan,
Hashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Tawada Aman.
Tawada Aman. In English, Lord, in the name of Yahushai,
Lord, in the name of Yahushai,
bless us
bless us
and Israel
and Israel
and the school.
and the school.
Bless,
Heal,
heal, shield,
shield,
protect.
protect.
In the name of
In
Yahushai,
the name of Yahushai,
thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it. The prayer for power. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashan,
Hashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Babakashah,
Babakashah,
Lathalanaw,
Thun Lanawa,
Hakak,
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 Larpa'ah,
Larapa'ah,
Kalmakala,
Kalmakala,
Wakalmadawah,
Kalmadawa,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Latahar,
Latahar,
Hamatazarayim,
Hamatazarayim,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Hakak, Salakia, Laha Koyam,
Laha Kwayam,
Hamathayam,
Hamathayam,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Arakawa,
Arakawa,
Hatama'ala,
Hatama'ala,
the Garsha,
Garsha,
Basham,
Basham,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
the Wada Aman.
the water Aman. In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahushai.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushai.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
Power to heal.
The power to
All
heal.
manner of sickness.
All manner of
And
sickness.
all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean
Cast
spirits.
them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushai.
In the name of Yahushai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Allah Hayam,
Alayim.
Al Damayah,
All Damayah.
Lakah,
Lakah.
Al Thakarash,
All Thakarash.
Wa Al Thakarash,
Were all Thashakwat.
Al
All.
Kaya,
Kaya.
Hana,
Hana.
Awa Awayab Yakah,
Awayabyaka.
Yahamo Yawan,
Yahama Yawan.
Wamashana Yakah,
Wamashana Yaka.
Nasha Awa,
Nasha'awa.
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash.
Amakah,
Alamaka.
Ira Yamwa,
Ya'ira Yama.
Sawad,
Sawad.
Waya,
Waya.
Sayaitazawa,
Sayaitazawa.
Al Tazapawan,
Altazapawan.
Yaka,
Yaka.
Amarwa,
Amarwa.
Lakawa,
Akawa.
Wanaka the Salakia, Wana Kaya Yadam,
Wanakaya Yadam.
Magaya,
Magaya.
Wala'a,
Wala'a.
Yazakar,
Yazakar.
Sham Yasha'ala,
Sham Yasharala.
Iwad,
Iwad.
Kaya,
Kaya.
Nawa Aitazawa,
Nawa Aitazawa.
Lav,
Lav.
Yakadwa,
Kadwa.
Al Yakad,
Al Yaka.
Barya,
Barya.
Yakarathwa,
Yakarathwa.
Ahalia,
Ahalia.
Adawam,
Adawam.
Waya Shemai Salakia, Waya Shema'a La Yam,
Wayashama La Yalom.
Mawa'aba,
Mawaba.
Wahagaria,
Wagaria.
Gabal,
The ball.
I'm a one,
I'm a one.
Wa I'm a lot,
Waimalak.
Palasha,
Palasha.
I'm Yashabya,
I'm Yeshabya.
Tazawar,
Tazawar.
Gamashawar,
Dama Shawar.
Nalawa,
Malawa.
Imam,
Imam.
Hayawa,
Ayawa.
Zarawai,
Zarawai.
Labanya,
Labanya.
Lawat,
Lawat.
Salah,
Salah.
Aisha,
Aisha.
Laham,
Laham.
Kamadyan,
Kamadian.
Ka,
Ka.
Sayar Sara'a,
Siya Saraya.
Kayab, Salakia, Kayabyan,
Kiyabya.
Banakal,
Manakal.
Kwayashwan,
Kwayashwa.
Nashamadwa,
Nashamadwa.
Ba'at, Salakia, Ba'ayan,
Bayan.
Dara,
Dara.
Hayawa,
Ayawa.
Daman,
Daman.
La Adama,
La Adama.
Shaya Samwa,
Shia Samwa.
Nadar Yab Mawa,
Nadayab Mawa.
Kairab,
Kaira.
Wakazabat,
Wakazaba.
Wakazabat,
Wakazaba.
Wakataza Manai,
Wakatazal Manai.
Kal,
Kal.
Nasa Yakam, Wa,
Nasaya Kamwa.
Ashar,
Ashar.
Amarwa,
Amarwa.
Niya Ra'ash,
Nayar Ash.
Lanawa,
Lanawa.
At,
Ah.
Nawa,
Nawa.
Alahaya,
Alahai.
Alahaya,
Alahai.
Shaythamwa,
Shayathamwa.
Kagaga'a,
Kagalgala.
Kakwash,
Kakwash.
Lapanya Raka,
Lapanya Raka.
Ka'ash,
Kaash.
Saraba'ira,
Tabar Ira.
Ya'ira,
Yaira.
Waka,
Waka.
Lahaba,
Lahaba.
Salohai,
Salahat.
Harian,
Arya.
Khan,
Khan.
Saradatma,
Saradabma.
Basa Iraka,
Basa Iraka.
Waba,
Waba.
Sawak Paska,
Salpathka.
Sabahalia,
Tabahal.
Mala'a,
Malaha.
Panyaham,
Tanyaham.
Kwalawan,
Kwalawan.
Uyabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa.
Shamka,
Shamka.
Yahawa,
Yahawa.
Yabashwa,
Labashwa.
Uya,
Laya.
Bahawa,
Bahawa.
Aja'ai,
Ajay.
Wayakar, Salakia, Waya,
Waya.
Kaparwa,
Kaparwa.
Waya,
Waya,
Abadwa,
Abadwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Da'aiwa,
Daiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Asa,
Atha,
Shankar Yahweh,
Shamka Yahweh,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Al Yawan,
Ayawan,
Al-Kal,
Alkal,
Ha-Rataza.
Rataza. In English, keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
Be not still, O God.
And be not still, O
For
God.
lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult.
and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the
They
head.
have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
consulted against thy hidden ones.
and consulted against thy hidden
They
ones.
have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation,
let us cut them off from being a nation,
that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one
They are
consent.
confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
Tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of
and
Edom,
the Ishmaelites,
and the
of
Ishmaelites,
Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines
The
with the
Philistines.
inhabitants of Tyre.
Salakia, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also is joined with them.
Ashur also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Selah.
Salah,
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
do unto them as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
at the brook of Kison,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like a ram,
and like Zeb.
and like Zeb.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Zabah,
all their princes as Zabah,
and as Zalmunna,
and as Zalmunna,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in
O
possession.
my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like the wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy
and
storms.
make them afraid with thy
Fill
storm.
their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with
that
shame,
they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy
O
name.
Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded and troubled forever.
let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame,
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know that thou,
that men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth. We're going to say the prayer for the power structure. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim,
Ma Tazabya,
Matazabia,
Alawap Yahanna,
Alawapia,
Ha Alawapya,
Ha Alawapia,
Ha Saranya,
Ha Suranya,
Ha Kwataza Yanya,
Ha Kotizayanya,
Haka Yayalya,
Hakaya Yalim,
Ha Akwafya,
Ha Akwafia,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Basham,
Basham,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Tuwada Aman.
Wada Aman. In English, bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
commanding General Yohanan,
commanding General Yohanan,
the generals,
the general,
the captains,
the captain,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sisters.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it. Men of Israel, Akwakian, sir, you may be seated. All right, clap it up, clap it up. Let's get it in, let's get it in. All right, so where are we going? Where were we last week? Last week we were in 36, and I think we finished at 21. So we're going to continue 36 and keep reading into our lesson. We're going into the generations or the lineage of the Edomites, right? That's what we're going into. There. Ooh, this is some good talking. All right, shout out to everybody who's tuning in with us. Again, like, subscribe, and share this video. If you got any comments, any questions, get that chat active. Bubble shot. Can you bring that line closer? You got to just plug it in over there. All right, so we were in 36, right? 36. Yes, we're going to go into it. So we're in Genesis 36. We're at verse 22. Right, so I just got to get something right quick. Bear with us a moment. Again, for water for tuning in. You could be anywhere else in the world and doing anything right now, but you are here with the Israelites in Canada. The people that Benai Griff hates. Right? The people that are trying to stop all the drug dealing in your community, all the whoredom, all the killing, all the unbrotherly love. Right? You're here with us. All right, so let's get it in. This is Genesis 36, verse 22. Right? So we're going to read from 22 to 28 in the Hebrew, then we're going to break it down. Ya Banya Lawa La Lawa Tan Ka Korea Waha Yam Salakia Waha Yamam Wa'a Ka Kawa Latan the Samanai, verse 23. Wa'a Laha Banya Shawa Ba Shawba Allah one Wama Nakat Wa'i Yabal Shapa Wa'a Wamam Salaki Wa'a Wanan, verse 24. Again, this is Genesis 36, verse 24. Wa'a la Banya Tazab I one Wa'a ya Wa'i na Hawa I na Ashar Mataza'a Haya Mam Bama Dabar Bara I Sawa Haka Mara Yam La Tazab I one Abba Yawa, verse 25. Wa'a Laha Banya Aina Dashan Wa'a Ha Salakia Waha Ha La Yaba Ma Ba Aina, verse 26. Wala Banya Daya Shan Kama Dan Wa'a Shaban Waya Run Wama Run, verse 27. Allah Banya Atazara Salakia Atazar Bala Na Salakia Bala Han Waza I one Wa'i Kwan, verse 28. Allah Banya, Ya Shan, Iwatza, Wa'a Run. That's the end of verse 28. So we read from, we're going to read 22 to 28 now in the Hebrew, in Genesis 36.
This is Genesis 36, verse 22. And the children of Lotan were Hori and Himam.
Right, so again, we're just running down the generations of Edom, right? So Edom, Esau, he left from his mother's house, he and his father's house. He had a bunch of different heathen wives, and that vexed his parents, right? That's what we spoke on previously. And now we're just going through the generations and his sons who had sons, right? Who became generals. They became off captains and generals of Edom, right? Esau is Edom. Esau became Edom, and he had sons who became men of power.
And Lotan's sister was Timnah, verse 23. And the children of Shobal were these: Alvin, and Manahath, and Ebal, Shapho, and Onan. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ea and Anah. This was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness, as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father.
Right. So these are the kids of Esau again, and they were wild people. They just like Ishmael was wild. They were wild, right? And they were in the wilderness. They built their cities, and they built. Read that one more time. The last part.
This was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness, as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father.
Right. You can keep going.
And the children of Anah were these: Dishan and Aholibah, the daughter of Anah. And these are the children of Dishan: Hemdan and Eshban, and Ithran and Quran.
What verse are you at?
Verse 27.
Okay.
The children of Izar are these: Bilhan and Zabin and Akan. The children of Dishan are these: Biz and Aram.
Uz and Aram. Right. So these are the children who are later going to become, like, you're going to hear cities called after their names because they took over lands, and they were the rulers of their land. So they built cities in their names, just like all men do, right? Like our forefather is Jacob, who later became Yasha'Allah, and Israel, the land of Israel, is named after him, right? Just like the land of Canaan is named after one of Ham's sons, right? Fake Israelites will say that we're Canaanites because Abraham was in that land, right? But that's just not true. We come from the line of Shem, all right? So again, these men, they're gonna build cities after their name. We're gonna continue reading from 5, 6, 7. We're gonna read 29 to 35 in Genesis 36. So that's where we're at. In Genesis 36, we're going to read 29 to 35. Allah, Salakia, Genesis 36, verse 29. Allah wa ya, Aka wa ya, Allah wa pa, Salakia. Allah wa, lawa time. Allah wa, shawabal, Allah wa, Tazab I1, Alawak, Aina, verse 30, Alawak, Jashan, Alawak, Arak, Salakia, Atazar, Alawak, Daya, Dayashan, Alaha, Alawabya, Hakariya, La'a, Lapa, Yaham, Ba'a, Rataza, Sha'ai, Yar, verse 31, Wa'ahala, Salakia, Wa'ala, Haman, Lama, Yam, Ashar, Mala, Mawa, Rataza, Adawam, Lapanya, Malam, Labanya, Yasha'ala, Yasha'ala, 32, Uya Malam, Ba'a Dawam, Balai, Ban, Ba'ai War, Wamam, Ayar, Ayra, Dana Haba, 33, Uya Ma, Malam, Labanya, Yasha'ala, 32, Salakia, 33, Wayama, Balai, Waya Malam, Taka Thayara, Yawa Ban, Zarak, Mabad Tazarak, 34, Waya Ma, Waya Salakia, Yawab, Wayam Ma, Taka Thayawa, Kamash, Salakia, Kasham, Ma'a Ratazah, Hatha Yana, Hatha Yama Naya, 35, Waya Ma, Kasham, Waya Malam, Taka Thayawa, Hadad, Ban, Hadad, Hama Ma, At, Mada Yan, Bashar Da, Mawa Abba, Moaba, Washa, Ayar Wa, Ayar War, Aywa Ya, That was the end of 35. So we read in Genesis 36, 29 to 35. Now we're going to read it in the English.
Chapter 36, verse 29. These are the dukes that came of the Horites: Duke Lotan, Duke Shabal, Duke Zibian, Duke Anah.
Right. So of the sons of the Horites, right? These are all the dukes or the men of power that came from them. Right. And you could see like all these men are coming out of Esau and they're taking power in their nation. Right. They have the power in their lands. Keep going.
Verse 30. Duke Deshan, Duke Ezer, Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Horai, among their dukes in the land of Seir.
These are the dukes in the land of Seir. Again, in this land, Seir is the land of the Edomites, our so-called oppressor. Right? Right now, there are other nations that live in these lands. Right? You have Arabs that live in these lands, and fake Israelites are going to tell you that like I was watching on Sonetta the other day. They had some fake Israelite. He's saying that the Edomites are the Japhites, and I said, how does that even make sense? Right? He said the Edomites are the Japhites. He said that out of the land of Edom, you could find the Japhites and they're the Ishmaelites at the same time. And I'm just like, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, right? Because we know that Esau is the end of the world. Our oppressor are the Edomites, right? That's who's in power right now. That's who's destroying the world. That's who's making it hard for our Yashakite brothers out in California, right? Their rent is increasing. Now I was listening to a brother the other day. He said the rent is increasing in California, and they're pricing out so-called Latino brothers, right? Brothers and sisters, right? And that's the same thing they always do. It's called gentrification. That's why when your Christian pastor is telling you that, and your so-called fake blackity black leaders are telling you that we need to get more police in our neighborhoods, they're just trying to get money, right? They don't understand that what's going to happen is the more police comes in, the more you're going to get priced out of your neighborhood. The more you're going to see more crime happen because you're bringing more criminals into your neighborhood. The criminals are the police. Right? Let's keep reading.
Okay. So,
31.
let's see it. Verse 31. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom, before they reigned any king over the children of Israel.
Right. So before we had a king for our land, because the Israelites, we're just young right now, right? In these times, we're not even a whole nation, right? But Edom, he was out there making babies with anything that walked. If it had a pulse, Edom would have a baby with it. And you could damn near see that right now. And you could listen. You listen to these Edomites talk, and they'll just say anything. They'll go stick their rod in anything, and that's why monkeypox is happening. That's why, because Edom will stick his rod anywhere. You have Edomites on camera right now saying the monkeypox hurts, and it feels like I'm sitting on shards of glass. Because where the monkeypox is where the sin is. Salakia. Keep reading.
Verse 32. And Bala, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom. And the name of his city was Dinhabah. Verse 33. And Bala died, and Jobab, the son of Zorah of Basra, reigned in his stead.
Right. So as men die, right, this is something you're always going to see. As a man dies, his power goes to his son. And that's what's happening here. People are dying and their sons are taking over. Keep reading.
And Jobab died, and Hashan of the land of Temanai reigned in his stead.
Again, that's what's happening. Salakia. Keep reading.
Verse 35. And Hasham died, and Hadad the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned reigned in his stead.
Right. This man, he smoked the Ethiopian, right? The so-called Midianites are the Ethiopians, right? And the man who smoked Midian in the field of Moab, right? Moab, the lands of Moab, Salakia. Who takes over the lands of Moab? Joseph? I'm quite sure it's Joseph who takes over the land of Moab. This is why they say, like, people, fake Israelites again are going to try and tell you that Ruth is not an Israelite and she's a Moabite. As we get deeper into our history book, we're going to find out that as we're marching through the wilderness and trying to get our lands, Israel is going to settle in these lands, right? And we're going to take over these lands.
Right.
But again, men die and their sons take over. That's what happens. It's like the law of the firstborn, right? If we go back to the Bible, there's not going to, okay, so as we find our culture, you're going to find out that our culture is deep in this Bible. When you die, you give your stuff to the firstborn. You leave your inheritance for the firstborn. Now, you can still designate an inheritance for your other children, right? But the bulk of your things are going to go to your firstborn. Keep reading, and that's what's happening now. Men die, and their sons are taking over in their stead, in their stead.
Right. And the name of his city was Avon. That's the end of verse 35.
That's the end of verse 35. We're going to read 36, 37, and 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Esau, he got like a lot of useless things. But we're just gonna break this down for you anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he had a lot of sons, right? And that's what they don't want. Now, okay. Esau has a lot of sons. That's what they don't want us to do. They don't want us to have sons. If you just leave us alone, we're going to have all the sons and all the daughters, and we're going to take over like we did.
Right.
There was a time, 40 years after slavery, we just took over, right? We just took over, and now we're going to bring this out, right? Very soon we're going to be doing, Salakia, we're going to take over. You leave us alone, we're going to keep inventing things. Like Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we damn near invented everything. Right? And that's what they don't want us to have. They don't want us to have our inventions. They don't want us to have our children. They don't want us to be at our greatness. Right? But Esau, he had a bunch of just useless sons, so we're going to keep reading. Right? And these men, they come into power. They take over lands. Right? So we're going to read 36 to 42. 36 to 42. Genesis 36, verse 36. Wayama, Hadad, Wayam, Lam, Thaka, Thaya, Wa, Shema, Laha, Mamash, Mamashar, Koha. Slovakia. Sometimes this text is small. I gotta make it a little bigger. Where was that? Bear with me a moment. 37. Wema. Shemala. Waya Mala. Paka the Yawa. Ma'a Wa. Mara Kaba Wa. Na Ha 38. Waya Ma Wa. Waya Malam. Ka the Yawa. Ba'a Hanan Ban. I'm a Wa 39. Waya Ma Ba'a Hanan Ban. I'm a Ba Wa Waya Malam. Pika Thawa. Hadar. Wamat. Salakia. Washam. Ayar. Salakia. Ayara. Pa'al. Paiwa. Washam. Asha. Tawa. Maha. Yatab. Allah. Ba. Mata. Rad. Ba. Maya. Zahab. 40. Verse 40. Again, this is Genesis 36, verse 40. Wa'a laha shamawat. Shamawat. Allah wapya. Allah wapya. I shawa. Lama shapa katham. Lama kwam thumb. Basha tha Salakia. Basha thumb. Alawa. The na'ai. Alawa. Waha. Alawa. Yatha. 41. Alawa. Ala. Aha. Layab. Ma. Alawa. Alaha. Alawa. Yan. Verse 42. Alawa. Za. Alawa. Faya. Mana. Alawa. Ba. Tazar. That was the end of verse 42. So now we're going to go back into the English and read 36 to 42.
Genesis 36, verse 36. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And Samlah died.
Right, so again, these men are dying, and their sons are taking over in their stead, right? And that's what happens. You're gonna find out that this is what happens, right? It's like you see this all throughout history. As one king dies, some other Edomite king takes over, right? This is something that's always happened throughout history. It happened if you just go look through the French Isles, right? Family members. Now again, Edom, good night. Edom will kill a whole family. Edom will kill all their cousins just to get the throne, right? You can see this in American, well, not exactly American politics, right? But there was a movie. What's the name of that damn movie where something falling? It's with Jamie Foxx, and he's like some type of agent or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what the movie's called, right? But if the president dies, it goes to the vice president. If the vice president dies, the speaker of the house, and it was a whole movie of like the speaker of the house trying to become the ruler of the world, right? And that's what happens, right? They get that from the Bible, right? Knowing that if a man dies, his son takes power, so the brother will kill his brother so he can get power. He damn near kill his. Here's another example, right? The movie Gladiators. Now, Gladiators, that's one of my. I used to watch that a lot. You know that movie? That movie is wild, right? We were the gladiators, right? Caesar. Damn, what was his name? It doesn't even matter. Some Edomite was in power in Rome, and his father knew his son was ancient. He had an Salakia for the fact. Right? We're not cursing. Cursing is not a cuss word, right? But the son, the father knew the son was no good.
Like Julius Maximus or something like that.
Maximus Proximo or something like that. Yeah, something like that. I think Maximus was the gladiator. Was Russell Crowe, right? That Edomite Russell Crowe, he got some roles. Right. But the father, he knew that the son wasn't going to do a good job, right? And this is something you see all throughout history, throughout the Romans. Like there are some crazy emperors, right? Like look what happened to Caesar, right? But the father knew his son wasn't going to be a good leader, so he wanted to give rulership to his number one general for a time, and then he was instructing the general to give the power back to the people. Right. Okay, so that's something that actually happened in history, though, where Caesar. Now we ain't gonna delve too long on this, but Rome used to be a republic. Caesar took power and said, "Nah, I'm just gonna make this a kingdom. It's just gonna be my power. He's gonna give it down to his sons, to his sons, to his sons." In the movie Gladiator, he tried to give it to his general. The son killed the father before he could do that.
Right.
Even in Game of Thrones, the mother realized that the father was going to give the power to the king of the north. She had the husband killed, right? So when men die, they usually give their power to their sons, right? All right, so let's keep reading.
Verse 37. And Samuel died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baal-Hanan, the son of Akbor, reigned in his stead.
Right. So a son dies, the father dies, the son takes over. The son dies, his son takes over, and so on and so on and so on. And that's what was happening in Esau's kingdom. Right. It's like David passed on. He gave up the ghost, and the power went to Solomon. Right. Keep reading.
39. And Baal-Hanan, the son of Akbor, died, and Hadar reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Paul, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. Verse 40. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau.
Now, there was a time when Esau had wives. Listen, there was a time when Esau went into women. I don't know what the hell is going on in this kingdom. Esau wants nothing to do with women now. Esau, he wants monkeypox. That's what Esau wants right now, right? And this is why Babylon is falling. Right?
So actually, there was a devil at work who said, he was like, excuse me, how come your people always have more than one woman? And I was like, yeah, that's just in our blood. And he was saying it as if he didn't want to offend me.
Listen, I would have told that devil to leave shit. Because women like strong men. Right? I would have told him, if you guys go back into history, your forefather Esau had more than one woman. But somewhere down the line, y'all wanted, I don't know, y'all wanted bond. Y'all didn't want bond. Y'all didn't want the aqua.
I wanted the monkeypox.
Right, I want the monkeypox. All right, let's keep reading.
Verse 40. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families, after their places, by their names. Duke Timnah, Duke Alba, Salaki, Duke Aluha, Duke Japheth.
Right, and these are just the names of the generals and the men in power of these nations, right? Again, they go on to take lands and rule for a long time, right? Keep reading.
Verse 41, Duke Aholabema, Duke Elah, Duke Pinan. Verse 42, Duke Kenaz, Duke Teman, Duke Mibzar.
Right. Again, these are just they're Edomites in the past. They're long gone. Right. These same Edomites are back in the earth. Right. They're back in the earth. They're now. Who knows if they're with us again? But everything comes back. Right. Energy doesn't fade away. Science will tell you that. They'll tell you science. Science will tell you energy don't fade away. And then when we say we regenerate, they look at us like, well, that shit crazy. Salakia for the language. Right? But these are the dukes who were in power. Right? These are all the sons that Esau had with heathen women. Right? And you could just see the Lord told us to be fruitful and multiply. And that's exactly what Esau is doing right now. You leave blacks, Hispanics alone for a while, and we're gonna get it on, and we're gonna have more babies, right? I think every day on Facebook I go through my feed and I see another brother, another sister having a baby. I see little babies just popping out, right? I'm like, oh, another warrior, another princess, another warrior. I can't wait to hear this. Good night. Listen, and it's a wonderful thing, right? And Esau hates us because we have babies, and now Esau is not having babies. They're still in power, but they're losing their power, right? So we're gonna finish up Genesis 36, and at night we still have a lot of time left. We'll read another 7 and break it down, because I do want to get into Genesis 37. So we'll read another 7 and break it down real quick. Right, so I'm going to finish off Genesis 36, 43, and Esau's children. So this is Genesis 36 and 43. Alawa, Magah, Daya, Allah, Alawa, Ayaram, Allah, Alawapia, Arawam, Lama Salakia. Lama Shaba Klam. Barataza. Aka the thumb. Hawa'a. Ashawa. Abiyah. Arawam. Genesis 37. Alaha. Fala the wa. Yaquad. Yawa. Sa. Yalsa. Ban. Oh, Salakia. I read the wrong verse. Salakia. Genesis 37, verse 1. Uya Shab Yaquab. Oh no, I didn't. I was reading the right verse. No. Salakia. I was not reading the right verse. Bear with me. I'm gonna get you right. We're in Genesis 37, verse 1. Varataza. Maga wa Raya. Abayawa. Varataza. Mana Ain. Verse 2. Alaha. Fala the wa. Yaquab. Yawsa. Ban. Shaba'ai, Asherah, Shana, Zah, Ra'ai, Raha, Aka, Wa, Batazah, An, Salaki, Batazah, Ana, Waha, Na'ira, Banya, Laha, Salakia, Bala, Wa'a, Banya, Zala, Nashia, Abba, Yawa, Uya, Salakia, Uya, Ba'a, Uya, Yawasa, Double Thumb, Raha, La, Salakia. I lost my place for a second. Give me one moment. Allah, Abaya, Ham, verse 3. Waya, Wa Yashala, Ahab, Salakia, Wa Yawasa, Mama, Ban Yawa, Maya, Ban, Zakwan, Yam, Wa Salakia, Hawa'a, La, Wa I, Sha, La, Matha, Na, Pasayam, verse 4. Salakia, one moment. Verse 4. Waya, Ara, Waya, Ra'awa, Ka, Yawa, Maya, Athawa, Ahab, Abba, Yaham, Mama, Aka, Yawa, Waya, Shanawa, Athawa, Wa'a, Yama, La, Daba, Ra, Lasha, Lam, Waya, Kalam, Yausa, Kala, Wam, Waya, Igad, Wala, Kaya, Waya, Wasa, Wasa, Iwa, Shana'a, Athawa, verse 6. Waya, Amar, Alayaham, Shema, Iwa, Na, Aka, Salakia, Aka, Wam, Azah, Ashar, Kala, Ma, Ya. So that was the end of verse 6 in Genesis 37. So we're now going to read, we're going to start in Salakia, Genesis 36, 43, and read to Genesis 37 to verse 6. Give me one moment. All right, Baba Kishak, can you read Genesis 36, 43? We'll wrap up Esau's nasty sons, and then we'll read into Israel.
So come. It's Genesis 36 and verse 43. Duke Magdiel, Duke Iram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations, in the land of their possession.
Right. So Esau, he was given the fatness of the earth.
Right.
Right. And he had sons, and as we said earlier, his sons took lands and they just named them after themselves. You're gonna, as we read through the scriptures, you're gonna see these names come back up. Right. Now let's go into Genesis 30. Let's go into Genesis 37, verse 1.
Come. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger.
Right. So Jacob, he made it back into the land of Canaan where Abraham was, right? Where Abraham came from. His father Isaac passed, right? He's back in the land now. He's a stranger in this land because there's filthy Hamites in this land just worshiping anything and doing everything. And just go look at what the Hamites do, right? It's not our culture. Everyone wants to say we're Hamites, but we don't do anything like the Hamites. Our cultures are totally different. Now, Hamites are taking our culture at the moment, right? They're trying to make Afro beats. They're trying to be reggae artists.
Right.
They're trying to rap. It's just not the same. Keep reading.
In the land of Canaan.
Right. He's in the land of Canaan. Now, this land we're going to take over because it's the land that was promised to Abraham. We're going to take it over. Just like we're going to get back our land. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 2. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph being 17 years old.
Right. So Joseph, Y.A.H, he was 17 years old, right? And Jacob loved this son. Keep reading.
Was feeding the flock with his brethren.
Now he was feeding the flock with his brethren, right? Because we were husbands to the earth, to the world, to the land that we are in. Meaning, a husband is basically, we would take care of things. Like a husband right now, you take care of your children, you take care of your wife, right? We were husbands, meaning farmers. We were farmers and shepherds. Keep reading.
And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah.
So he was with his brothers. Keep reading.
And with the sons of Zilpah.
And more of his brothers.
His father's wives.
His father had what?
Wives.
His father, how many?
Wives.
He had wives. Right? This is in the Bible. Now, when Christianity is going to tell you that you can't have more than one wife.
Right.
Right? Now, you don't need to have more than one wife. Some brothers can't even handle one wife. You don't need two.
Right.
Some brothers have 10. But our forefather had wives. Keep reading.
And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report.
Now Joseph, he was doing good things. This is why his father loved him. Right? This is the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. If you see me do something evil, you tell the men above me. Right? Officer Shaiwan, he's gonna tell Abban, listen, see Zabaja, he was doing this and this and this. And that is a good thing. Because evil is not supposed to be in this house. Right? Now, if you're in some weird organization with maple leaves on your damn shirt because you love Canada, you're not going to give an evil report on your brother, right? It's a good thing. Now, first you're gonna go tell your brother, like you're gonna go to your brother, like, listen, you're not supposed to be doing that. And if he doesn't hear you, you're gonna go to the men above you. Some things you just don't go to your brother about. You just go to the men above you. It's like, what the hell is he doing? This needs to be dealt with right away. Some things are just going to be on camera and you're gonna get chastised about it. Like if you're in a party with strippers and it's on camera, the men of the Lord and the I.S.U.P.K, we're going to chastise you about it. Because you're not supposed to be in power. You're not supposed to be in that. You're not supposed to make a whore out of your daughter. Right? The daughters of Zion aren't supposed to be whores. Keep reading.
Verse 3. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children.
Right. Yashar'Allah, who Jacob, his name was changed to Israel. Yashar'Allah in the Hebrew. He loved Joseph more than all his children, because you're going to find out why. Right. But this happens. This happens. You have, now listen, a Christian's going to tell you, but the Lord made all of us. Yeah, he made all of us, but he had a chosen.
Right.
He had a favorite. Israel was his favorite, his chosen. This happens all the time. Parents have favorite children, because certain children do better than others, right? Israel, he loved Joseph more than his other sons. Keep reading.
And he, Salakia.
Because
Because he was the son of his old age.
now, just imagine you get old, right? And you have a son in your old age. You're gonna be like, Dad, I'm still, the factory's still working.
Right.
Good night. So he had a son in his old age, right? And he loved that son. Keep reading.
And he made him a coat of many colors.
He made him a wonderful garment, right? And I could just imagine what that garment looked like. A coat of wonderful colors. Keep reading.
Verse 4. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him.
Right, they were jealous. They were jealous. They hated him because they just had hate in their heart from the get-go. Right, and this is, you're not supposed to. Now, I'm gonna put it like this, right? Sharyuan can start doing some amazing works in here, right? I'm an officer of 1,000. Sharyuan's an officer of 500. He can start doing some amazing works in here, and get raised up to 1,000, and get raised up to 5,000, and I'm still at 1,000. I'm not going to hate my brother, because there's no hate in my heart for my brother. These men hated their brother because he was doing good and they were doing evil things. Keep reading.
And could not speak peaceably unto him.
They would not speak peaceably onto their brother, right? Because they were jealous. You're not supposed to be jealous of your brother and have hate in your heart for your brother. Keep reading.
Verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream.
Now, Joseph dreamed a dream, right? And okay, so you're supposed to speak kind things to your brother, no matter what. Like you see your brother doing something good, even though you might be in a bad spot right now, you're supposed to speak love to your brother, and that's something that we're teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read verse 5 again. Is that verse 5 or verse 4?
Verse 5.
Read verse 4 again.
Verse 4. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren.
Right. So the father saw that the brother saw that the father loved him more because he was the good son.
Right.
Like y'all familiar with that phrase, the good son? Right. He was the son that did what the father wanted. Right. His brothers hated that because they weren't doing what their father wanted. Keep reading.
They hated him.
They hated him. Right. This is something that happens like in our communities all the time. Right. Because Christianity and Islam and Esau and all the other nations that make $1 billion off of us are in our communities, and we look to them like we're supposed to love them. We treat our brothers horribly, right? Now, when you look at the other nations go to war with each other every day, right? They steal resources from each other every day. A brother can't drive around in a nice car in his own community without being hated from his brother, because there's a lack of brotherhood, right? You're supposed to love your brother, right? Salak, yeah. Let me find one real quick.
Okay, there's a piece of that.
Come on, you can bring it up.
Okay. Select, I'll paraphrase it. Because as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, Especially being over here in America under oppression. I believe it was Paul who said to bear each other's burdens,
Right.
right? Like, we shouldn't be looking at another Black, Hispanic, or Native American man trying to tear him down or take away from him, from that brother trying to survive in this society, right? We gotta lighten each other's loads. We gotta work together, right? We gotta bear each other's burdens to help bring our nation up out of this captivity.
Right.
That's the only fight that we have against oppression.
So okay, I'm just looking for something, and that's so heavy, right? That is definitely heavy. Uh, that's not the one I want. Mark 31. Bear with us. Right? Can you get me? No, I found the one I want. It's this one right here. Let me get the first job. We're supposed to love our brothers and sisters. You're not supposed to speak evil towards your brother and sister. Right? Can you get me 1 John 4:20? Right? You're not supposed to speak evil towards your brother. Right? You're supposed to love your brother. And in our community, we say love, but we speak a lot of hate towards one another, right? And then we turn around and say we love God.
Right.
Right? You can read it when you got it.
This is 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. The man say, I love God.
Right? You can't say that you love God. This is something that you hear all the time. I'm a godly person. I'm a Christian. My Christian heart. Right? If a man say, I love God, you're saying you love God. Right? Keep reading.
And hateth his brother.
But you hate your brother. You turn around and say, I cannot forgive that brother for what he did. But you want God to forgive you for every nasty, disgusting, filthy sin that you've done. All the time you slept with another brother's wife. All the time sisters have damn near fought each other over some man when they could have just shared that man and been sisterly. But sisters will throw damn near bleach. Look at a whole bucket of bleach, right? A whole 12 gallons of bleach, and throw it on another sister, right? Because they're sharing the same rod. And then what happens? He just goes and takes another woman, right? And now you're in jail. If you say you love God, right? Keep reading.
And hateth his brother.
But you hate your brother.
He is a liar.
You're a liar. Joseph's brothers, they hated him, right? They hated him. Keep reading.
For he that loveth not his brother.
If you don't love your brother, right? What can make you not love your brother, right? You want to not love your brother, but then place your lips firmly on the oppressor's rear end, right? And you see this so many times where brothers will literally kill each other, but then fight to love some oppressor.
Right.
Keep reading.
Whom he hath seen.
You love your brother. You see him every day, right? But you hate him, Salakia. You hate your brother and you see him every day, right? Which makes no sense. Keep reading.
How can he love God whom he hath not seen?
You've never seen the Lord. You've never seen the Lord face to face,
Right.
but you say you love the Lord but hate your brother. Which how can you go and steal from your brother because he has a fancy car? You wanna hate your brother and sleep with his woman, so you kill him. You literally go kill your brother and go sleep with his woman, right? How do you love God? You've never seen him, but hate your brother who you see. Keep reading.
And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
You have to love your brother if you love the Lord, right? You want to say you love the Lord? Well, first love your brother, right? Because you can't say that you love God if you hate your brother. It makes absolutely no sense. Who's going to be there and be on the front line with you when it's time to go to war? When these nations, and mark my words, these nations are going to rise up against us. They're doing it every day more and more. They're killing us more and more every day. They're getting more bold. Trump, Donald Trump came into office and he stood on what all oppressors stand on. They hate for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and he gathered his nation together. And you're seeing them get more bold with the things they say. They're not even hiding their racism anymore, right? They want to write letters to Commander General YAHANNA and write letters and call the police on the Israelites because we want to teach brothers to love each other. We want to tell brothers if you say you hate your brother, if you say you love God and hate your brother, you're a liar. Because we're out there telling everybody you can't sell drugs no more. Right? Because we're telling everybody you can't kill your babies no more. Because we're telling everybody if you take a sister, you cannot leave him. And sisters, if you take a man, you should not leave him. They hate us for that. Right? These nations are getting more bold. Right? Let's get back into what we were reading earlier.
Okay.
Genesis 37, verse 4. Yeah.
They hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him.
You're not supposed to hate your brother. You're supposed to, you see your brother doing something good, you're supposed to tell him that was a good job. That was wow. Like some people, listen, they'll say that was Salakia. There's a new thing that's going on, right? Where brothers will say something, and it sounds like he's saying it's love, but he's really speaking envy. He's really saying he might be like, yeah, that was a good job, and he doesn't really love you, right? You gotta speak peaceably onto your brothers. Keep reading.
Verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream.
Now the Most High was giving him visions, right? The Most High was giving him prophecies in his dreams. Keep reading.
And he told it to his brother.
And he told his brother his dreams, right? And because his brothers didn't understand, well, they knew exactly what the dream meant, right? They hated him more about it. You're gonna find out right now. Keep reading.
And they hated him yet the more.
Why do you hate your brother? You're not supposed now. Your brother says, "Listen, I'm gonna be powerful, or I'm about to go start this business and make some money." And some brother is gonna give him every reason in the world why he shouldn't do it, just because he knows that this is going to be a good thing and it's going to put him in a better standing than me. When you're supposed to be like, listen, you're gonna do what? Go do that thing, and they're hiring me to do it with you. Listen, you're about to start a business. Listen, I'm about to support your business. And listen, hire my son to help you. Shot. That's brotherly love. Keep reading.
Verse 6. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed.
And he told them to hear the dream that I dreamed. Right? As you go on, you can read on further, and we're going to continue to break this down for next Sabbath service, right? You're going to find out that his dream was basically telling him he's going to be in rulership over your brother. Now, I watched some effeminate brother. He was weak. This brother was weak. He made a documentary about some fake Christian group that he was in, right? He said, I don't want to lord over my brothers. And some sisters said, you're weak. He got emotional about it. Listen, if you have the power to lord over your brothers, lord over your brothers. Because brothers not lording over each other is why guns are going off in our communities. Brothers not lording over each other is why a brother can rap about taking another man's woman, and it's gonna be like, that's a good song. Listen, I love my Benjamite music, right? Benjamites, I think Listen, I don't think anybody can make more better music than a Benjamin Salaki. Don't take me to counsel. But sometimes I'm listening to this Benjamin music, and it's like the song started off good, and then it's like, and I slept with this woman. I'm like, I gotta throw this out now. God damn, what's going on? Like, you could have just left it out. And that's why the Israelites, listen, the best musicians out right now, outside of Benjamin making good worldly music, right? The best music is coming out of the I.S.U.P.K, right? And that music has a message of brotherly love, of keeping the law, of not sleeping with your brother's woman, right? So Jacob, his brothers hated him because he kept the law, because he had a vision. Salakia. Joseph, his brothers hated him because he kept the law and he was doing good things in his father's sight, right? And when his brothers weren't doing good things, he told his father. In the world, someone would say, "You're a tattletale. You're selling me out to pops." Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to correct your brothers. Now that means you got to go to a higher authority power, and then a man above them. You do just that, right? First, you show your brother some brotherly love by saying, "Listen, you go to him on the one, you go to him and him alone, and say you're supposed to do this, and this, right?" If he doesn't listen, you take him before three. If he doesn't show up to that, you take him before the whole congregation, right? That's what you're supposed to do. All right, so we're gonna wrap that up right there. Next week we're gonna continue with Genesis 37, verse 7. We're gonna break down the chapter. And again, when I used to read the Bible, this right here is where the Bible starts to get interesting. Like it's like a movie now. Like you're climbing to the climax, right, of the movie, right? You're getting to the arc of the movie where everything's about to start getting good. The action's about to start. And listen, just show your brother some brotherly love. That's what you're gonna learn. If you don't know how to show your brother some brotherly love, you're going to suffer at the hands of your enemy. Good, man.
Lucky, if I may.
Come.
And you could start showing brotherly love to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans by paying your goddamn tithes.
Right.
Pay your tithes to Commanding General YAHANNA. Well, we can get money out to our people, the people who need it.
Yeah, that's definitely heavy, because in here, the money doesn't go to a Benz. Like, Commander General YAHANNA, he doesn't have a G5. He doesn't live in his own zip code. Right. Right. All right. So we're gonna read our prayers again and start to end this Sabbath service. Men of Israel, Akwaki and Imajim, which means to stand. So Apalya Hakodam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to read these prayers again. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew and then read it in the English. Abanawa, Shabashamayam, Kodash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Baba'ah, Ratazakah, Ayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kuwa, Ayah, Bashamayam, Lathanlanawa, Lakam, Kam, Yawam, Wasalakna, Kabwafna, Kasalakna, Kabwafna, Wala'ah, Sabayana, Banasai one, Abal, Hawashina, Mayan, Rat, Kiyah, Lakah, Amalakwa, Wahala, Wahasaparat, La'awalamya, Aman.
In English, our Father which art in heaven.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh,
thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom
thy
come,
will be done on earth
thy will be done on earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in
Give
heaven.
us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts,
Forgive us our
as
debts
we forgive our
as
debtors.
we forgive our
Lead
debtors.
us not into
Lead
temptation,
us not into temptation,
deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the
and the
kingdom,
power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever so be it.
forever so be it. Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahahaya,
Ahari,
Ma'ayan,
Mayan,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Isaiah,
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 Ma'ai,
Ma'an,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Wa'arataza,
Wa'arataza,
Ayathan,
Ayathan,
Lamawat,
Amawat,
Wagalka,
Galka,
Al-Yanawam,
Al-Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Ana,
Anna,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yashan,
Yayashan,
Shawamar,
Shawamar,
Yasha'ala,
Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al-Yad,
Al-Yad,
Yamyaka,
Yamyanka,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashemah,
Hashemash,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayirah,
Bala Yala,
Allah, Yallah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamar,
Kalrad,
Kalrai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Aknapashka,
Athnapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Tazaaka,
Taza'aka,
Wabawaaka,
Wabawa'aka,
Ma'aitha,
Ma'aika,
Wa'ai Awalam.
Wa'aid Awalam. In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes unto the hill.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my
My
help?
help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
He shall preserve thy going out.
and thy coming in
Salakia. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
And
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth,
and even forevermore.
even forevermore. Salakia. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim,
Alayim,
Al-Damayah,
Al-Damayah,
Lakah,
Lakah,
Al-Thakarash,
Al-Thakarash,
Wa'al,
Wa'al,
Shaquat,
Shaquat,
Al,
Al,
Kayah,
Kayah,
Hana,
Hana,
Awayabyaka,
Awayabyaka,
Yahamayawan,
Yahama Yawan,
Wama,
Wama,
Shana,
Shana,
Yakah,
Yakah,
Nasha'ah,
Nasha'ah,
Wa,
Wa,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al,
Al,
Amakah,
Amakah,
Ya'irayam,
Ya'irayam,
Wa,
Wa,
Sawad,
Sawad,
Waya,
Waya,
Sayah,
Thayah,
Aitazawa,
Aitazawa,
Al-Tazapawan,
Al-Tazapawan,
Kayah,
Kayah,
Amawa,
Amara,
Lakawa,
Kawa,
Wana,
Wana,
Kayadam,
Kayadam,
Magawa,
Magawa,
Salakia, Magaya,
Magaya,
Wa,
Wa,
La'a,
La'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yasha'ala,
Sham Yasharala,
Iwad,
Iwad,
Kayah,
Kayah,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Aitazah,
Aitazah, Wa,
La,
La,
Yakadwa,
Yakadwa,
Al Yakar,
Al-Yakah,
Barya,
Barya,
Yakarwa,
Yakarwa,
Ahaya,
Ahalia,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wa,
Wa,
Yashamai Alayam,
Yashamai Alayam,
Mawa'aba,
Mawa'aba,
Wahagariam,
Wahagaria,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa'amawan,
Wa'aimawan,
Wa'amalak,
Wa'aimalak,
Palashah,
Palashah,
Ain Yashavia,
I'm Yashabia,
Tazawad,
Tazawar,
Gam Ashawar,
Dam Ashawar,
Lanawa,
Nalawa,
Amam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Zarawai,
Zarawai,
Labanya,
Labanya,
Lawat,
Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Laham,
Laham,
Kamadia,
Kamadian,
Kasa, Salakia, Kasa Yasara,
Kasa Yasara,
Kayabian,
Kayabia,
Manakal,
Banakal,
Kwayashawan,
Kwayashawan,
Nashamat,
Nashamat,
Wa,
Wa,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Dara,
Dara,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'adama,
La'adama,
Shia Thamwa,
Shia Thamwa,
Nada Yabmawa,
Nadaya Mawa,
Kairab,
Kairab,
Wakazaba,
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 Waka,
Waka,
Tazamanai,
Tazamanai,
Ka,
Ka,
Nasa, Nasa Yakamwa,
Messiah Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Naya Arashah,
Niya Arasha,
Lanawa,
Lanawa, Ah,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Alahaya,
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 Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Kagalga'a,
Kagalgala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanya,
Lapanya,
Raka,
Raka,
Ka'ash,
Kaash,
Ba'ira,
Sabaira,
Ya'ira,
Yaira,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Salakia, Waka,
Waka,
Lahaba,
Lahaba,
Salahat,
Salahat,
Haya,
Haryam,
Khan,
Khan,
Saradatma,
Saradatma,
Basa Iraka,
Basa Iraka,
Waba,
Waba,
Sawapatka,
Sawapavka,
Sabahalam,
Sabahalam,
Mala'at,
Mala'at,
Panyahab,
Panyaham,
Kwalawan,
Kwalawan,
Wayabakashwa,
Wayabakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shumka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Bahawa,
Ayai,
Aydiyai,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Tha,
Tha,
Shamka Yahawa,
Shumka Yahawa,
Labarka,
Labarka,
Al-Yuwan,
Ayuwan,
Al-Kab,
Alkal,
Ha-Ratiza.
Ratiza. In English, keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
Be not still, O God.
Be not still, O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
and they that hate thee have lifted up their
They
head.
have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
and consulted against thy hidden
They
ones.
have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a
and
nation,
let us cut them off from being a
that the
nation,
name of Israel
that the name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the
of
Ishmaelites,
Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and
the
Amalek,
Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also is joined with them.
Ashur also is joined with
They have
them.
hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah,
Salah,
do unto them as unto the Midianites,
do unto them as unto the
as
Midianites,
to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
at the brook of Kison,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like Oreb,
and like Zeb.
and like Zeb.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Zabah,
all their princes as
and
Zabah,
as Zalmunna,
and as Zalmunna,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
O my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a
as
wheel,
the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the
as
wind,
the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the
and as
wood,
the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
and as the flame setteth the mountains
So
on fire.
persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy
and
storm.
make them afraid with thy
Fill
storm.
their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name,
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh,
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and
Let-
perish,
let them be put to shame and perish,
that men may know that thou,
that men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth. So I can prepare for power. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Babakashah,
Yahusha,
Lathanlanah,
Nathan Lanao,
Hakah,
Hakar,
Hakah,
Hakar,
Larapa'ah,
Larapa'ah,
Kalmakala,
Kalmakala,
Wakalmadawa,
Kalmadawa,
Haka,
Haka,
Latahar,
Latahar,
Hamatazariah,
Hamatazariah,
Haka,
Haka,
Lahakoyam,
Lahakoyam,
Hamathayam,
Hamathayam,
Haka,
Haka,
Awakawa,
Arakawa,
Hatama'ala,
Hatama'ala,
Lagarsha,
Garsha,
Basham,
Basham,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Tuwara
Wadaman. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai,
Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai,
please give us the power.
please give us the power,
Power to heal all manner of sickness
the power to heal all manner of sickness
and all manner of disease.
and all manner of disease,
Power to cleanse the lepers.
the power to cleanse the
The
lepers,
power to raise the dead.
the power to raise the dead,
Power against unclean spirits.
the power against the clean
To
spirits,
cast them out.
to cast them out.
In the name of
In the
Yahushai.
name of Yahushai,
Thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it. Bless Israel. So I can have it. Yeah, bless Israel first. Yeah. This is the one. Yeah. Bless Israel. Take out the different one. Yeah, the one to do a short of the cut. So I can. This one. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Basham,
Basham,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Barak Lanawa,
Barak Lanawa,
Wayasha'ala,
Wayashrala,
Waha,
Waha,
Maya,
Baya,
Saparia,
Sapari,
Basham,
Basham,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Tuwara Aman.
Wadaman. In English, Lord, Salaki, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushai,
in the name of Yahushai,
bless us
bless us
and Israel
and Israel
and the school.
and the school.
Bless,
Bless,
heal,
heal,
shield,
shield,
protect,
protect,
Tazadah,
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 Tazadah.
Tazadah.
In the name of Yahushai.
In the name of Yahushai,
Thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it. One more. Prayer for power structure. Rakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Wa Yahushai.
Wa Yahushai.
Wa Mayaka'ala.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Salakia. Matazabia.
Matazabia.
Alawap Yahanna.
Alawap Yahanna.
Ha Alawapia.
Ha Alawapia.
Ha Saranyam.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Kotazanyam.
Ha Kwatazanya.
Ha Kayayam.
Haka Yayalim.
Ha Aquafiam.
Wa Akwafim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Basham.
Hashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Tawaraman.
Wadaman. In English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushai.
And Yahushai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angel.
And the angel.
Commanding General Yahanna.
Commanding General Yahanna.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushai.
In the name of Yahushai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Men of Israel, Aquafium, Sar. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat. Imajim, Barak. Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Barakatham. Yajimata. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Sar, to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imajim. Imajim Shabbat. Barak. Barak. Yahweh, Shema, Alatham, Hashem, Yahushai. You say Yahweh, Shema, Alatham, Hashem, Yahushai. Yajimata, which means hands down. Clap it up.